Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SimZone. We're here for the first round of the Next Level Racing GT3 Championship, and unfortunately we did miss qualifying due to some technical issues. Our broadcasting software for changing cameras and all the other camera views and all the other information that we can see in terms of lap times, pit stop times and whatnot isn't working for us today, so that's really unfortunate. So we're going to have to make do with what we have, so please do bear with us while we try and flick through the drivers throughout this race. But it's Luke Whitehead on pole there. He'll be starting the race at the front with Sidor in P2, also in the front row, Muller in P3 on the second row, with Tassin in P4 also on the second row. Muller and Sidor have raced with us previously in the SimZone. They've raced last season in Season 7 with us, and they've both finished on the podium at the end of the season, so they both ended up receiving trophies for finishing on the podium, but it's two Porsches on the front row. We are at Zolder as well, the land of the chicanes. So there could be some good overtaking opportunities made within the first few laps, but we definitely are going to see some great moves and some great defending happening throughout this race. And we've got quite a few cars on the grid. Who's going to get the jump into turn one? Whitehead's going to have the inside. Sidor's going to be on the outside a bit, but if he can hold it around the outside, he'll have the inside for turn two. We are lining up side by side now, getting ready for the race start. We're about to go green very, very shortly. There we go, we are green, and a drive-through penalty already for position on start for the number 31 Lamborghini. And looks like Whitehead there, oh sorry, starting on the outside, so he's going to make it there into turn one, well ahead of Sidor there in P2. He's having to defend against Muller, I believe it is, in the Audi, you can see there. Muller now having to defend against Tassin in the BMW. Tassin doing a good job here, but he's got Hilhorst very close onto the back of him, so he's going to have to be very careful here. Hilhorst looking to go for a move. But we're just going to wait for the timetables to shuffle around. The car's bouncing over the curb there into the chicane. We've already got someone off into the gravel. It doesn't look like there's any contact, but let's see. This is going to be a bit of a pain to navigate through all the drivers, but it's what we're left with today with our software not working. But Jan Barth up into P12 already, started, I believe it was P19, so he's made up 7 positions on the start. That just shows you the Porsche's acceleration coming into Jan Barth's favour here, and Hutchison, I believe, losing a position. And oh, there's been contact there between two drivers. I believe that was one of the BMWs and one of the Lamborghinis actually off there into the gravel. Is that Jelinek? It might be. You can see there a McLaren in the background and some serious damage. That's Jonathan Chick with some severe damage on the front, but he's going to continue out on track here. Pit windows doesn't open until 18 minutes, so he's going to drive through the damage and try and hold on to his position here, but Vesala behind him, and I believe that is Alfivic as well, looking down the inside into turn one. Is he going to get the move done? Looks like he will with ease. I think Chick may be taking it a bit easy now, and it looks like Vesala is going to go around the outside there as well, and he's got that move done. Let's see if we can switch back to the race leader. God, this is going to be a bit of a pain for us. Luke Whitehead there already. Oh, a huge mistake there from Pithivers, and he's held it very nicely. But he's going to lose position after position. That's Viken down the inside there. He's going to move up into P8, I believe. And once again, very sideways, rejoin the track. That's Jan Barth now moving up his position as well. And he's really struggling here. He's dropping down, right down the order. Moves down into P14. Might even lose another position here. The McLaren looking for a move down the inside. Has to back out of that. That's Dressel there, the number 19 McLaren. But wisely backed out of that move. But they've still got quite a big train here. That is Cano there in P16 flashing his lights. Everybody knows he's on stream. And this is definitely a tough battle where Canberra is catching up. He's got Stuart Pryor very, very close behind him. Is the Honda having to go defensive into turn one? Yes, he is, but back over to the racing line he moves. Pryor not close enough to get a move done up the inside there into turn one. And looks like we've got a stop code 30 penalty there for the 31 Lamborghini. He's going to have to serve that, so it's going to be another time in the pit lane for them. Unfortunately, that would have been, I believe, speeding in the pit lane. I think they've already served their drive-through penalty. That's really unfortunate. Just shows how your race can go from bad to worse in just a few seconds. But that is the Honda going side by side there with the Aston of Pithivers. He's lost even more positions now. He's really, really struggling, and the Honda of Canberra gets past, defends the inside of the chicane, and tries for a move there on the Porsche of Cano, and he's got that done as well. 2 positions in one corner. for Canberra. That was a very brave move, and he made it stick. And he's going to move up a position, a couple positions there, in fact, into P15. And it looks like that is Pythagoras looking back down the inside of Cano, and has he got that move done? Is the camera going to pan over? No, it's going to take forever to do so. And I think they're still side by side. Cano holding the inside line to the final corner, but he backs out there into this last chicane. And there we go, Pythagoras moves up a position, up into P15. Let's switch back to Viken here, and the number 97 BMW. Viken running away now. The BMW's now got TP Racing, the number 62 Porsche, right on the back of him, so he's caught up. That gap's not a second anymore, it's only a few tenths between these two. And could we see the Porsche get a run here into the chicane? The BMW in front has got a horrible exit, you saw there, very, very squirrely. And can the Porsche send it down the inside? I don't think he's going to just yet. He's going to play the waiting game, but I'm sure the BMW in front is going to be feeling the pressure. You can see in the background the Honda of Hutchinson, I believe, battling with Jan Barth here in P12. In fact, defending against Jan Barth here. So Jan Barth looking very strong at the start of this race. Maybe aiming for a top 10 finish. Porsche at the moment seeming dominant. Our race leader then, Luke Whitehead. Let's skip up ahead. There we go. Luke Whitehead already has opened up a 4-second gap to Lucas Sidor in P2, who's now having to find himself defending against Muller in P3. This might be a bit of a train we're seeing form up. So Sidor followed by Muller, then Tassin, then we've got Hilhorst as well. So these two are possibly going to make it a 5-car battle. Sorry, a 4-car battle. And it pretty much is a 4-car battle now, if I'm honest. They're not far off whatsoever. And if any of these two up in front, Sidor and Muller, make a mistake, they could be in serious trouble here. They might even lose quite a few positions. But they don't seem to be battling too hard at the moment, even though Tassin and Hilhorst have now closed the gap to under a second. But we're definitely going to see, yep, this is definitely a 4-car battle now for what is P2. And Sidor maybe just managing the gap. He doesn't want to be fighting too hard just yet. He is now pulling away, so a mistake from Muller is now going to drop him into the clutches of Tassin. He's going to have to be careful because Tassin is lapping very quickly at the moment. That last lap of 128.2, and he's on a mission. He's going to try and get this move done as soon as possible. But Hilhorst as well, just waiting in the wings of these three up in front, just waiting for them to trip over each other and possibly capitalize on any mistakes. You can see in the background that is Faulkner, followed by Mamid. Mamid in the background from Project Reborn as well. Lovely livery that, in fact. I love the aux lights on it as well. It looks brilliant. But he is hunting down Faulkner as we speak. Two Ferraris, Ferrari versus Ferrari at the moment, for this battle for P6. Let's see if Mamid can close that gap. It's currently 7 tenths. It might be a bit more, 8 tenths. It's gone up ever so slightly, but we'll keep an eye on that battle. And look in the background, that was the BMW getting all sorts of sideways, hitting the wall there. He's on the marbles now, going defensive. Can Pryor get this move done? No, he backs out of that. The BMW is slightly ahead there, so he had priority into the corner, and he had the inside line as well. But the BMW not going to be running very well after that. It's got some damage now, and it's going to be affecting the aero on this BMW M4. You can see he's still able to make it through the corners, but much slower than Pryor behind in the Audi. Looks like if there's in P13 has settled down slightly. Cano, this battle's still going on strong. 4 in P15, Cano in P16, Pryor in P17, Barth in P18. This is a good battle going on here in the mid-pack. at the moment, but for number 18 Mercedes here having to defend very early on. Cano in the Porsche is going to utilize the acceleration out of the final corner, but we know the Mercedes also has good acceleration, so he's not going to be able to pull alongside here into turn 1 just yet, using all of the exit curb on out of turn 1. Barth losing a bit of time now to this train, but I'm sure if they continue to battle even harder than they are now, Barth will be right back with them within a lap or so. Looks like the 999 BMW into the pits very early on, so they've possibly picked up some damage here. It's going to look down to Shen and Vesala. Vesala dropping down to P22. You can see there he's got some damage on the rear of that Porsche. That's not going to help it whatsoever. It's going to have might have some troubles with the Porsche and stability, but so far he looks to be okay. Let's hope we haven't put the curse on him. But he's looking up the inside here, trying to find a way past in the tight, narrow sections here at Zolder. He hasn't been able to make that move just yet. He's got a better exit out of the chicane, but looks like he's forced Shen into a mistake. Onto the grass goes Shen. Can Vesala look towards the inside? Shen going defensive here into the hairpin. And no, Vesala not able to get past just yet. He's had to back off there. You could hear him having to lift off. Indeed, he's really struggling, but Shen doing a great job at defending so far. It's not easy to overtake here on this track. Vesala needs to get a good exit out of this final corner if he wants to get this position done coming into turn 1. He's going to use the slipstream here. Shen going defensive, no, moves back over to the racing line. Vesala looks towards the inside but backs out of that, and still hasn't been able to get this move done. And he's going to look for a late lunge down the inside, and no, hasn't got it just yet. But we switch back then to this battle just up in front. Cano looking for a move, and 4 having to go defensive into the chicane. Can Cano try and go for a switch back here? Is he going to focus on the better exit? He is. But is it going to be enough to get him alongside into the second chicane? I don't think it is. Though he still settles here for P16, and while these two continue to battle, they've lost pretty much half a second there, or even over a second. With Pryor behind in P17, you can see now Pryor right in the back of them, and Jan Barth also has caught back up as well. So Cano in a bit of trouble here. He was on the offense, he's now having to defend his position. The roles have reversed, and this allows the number 18 Mercedes to pull a slight gap. That's going to give him some breathing room to begin with, and he needs to capitalise on this and try and pull away as much he can while those behind him battle. You can see there, as we saw there, Cano bouncing over the inside curb over the last corner, but it hasn't affected him. He's still been able to hold on to P16. Pryor running well in P17 at the moment as well. We skip further up. This is going to become a nightmare once people have pitted. But TP Racing in the number 62 Porsche still behind the number 97 BMW here, even after their mistake. And it looks like Pryor has also lost a position. He's down into P11 now. Hutchinson catching up. Pythiva's also catching up, so you could see another four-way battle here for what would be P9. Let's have a quick read of any of the comments that are going on. We've got Lord Prothel come saying good luck guys. Simon Mello saying hello everyone. Another evening together. Yep, another one. We've pretty much got races nearly every day of the week now. I think Thursdays is the only one so far where we don't have any races going on. Cosmic Light, good to see you as well. Andre saying Luke 3 seconds after 2 laps. Yeah, I mean that gap now is over 8 seconds, and we've only been 14 minutes into this race, so Luke has checked out already, and so long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he should be okay. But we can see here Pitford's still running in P13. They've got Canberra only a second back, but Pitford's closing in on Hutchinson, and looks like Hutchinson closing in on Pryor as well. not too close just yet, and Pithiviers with a much better exit there out of turn 2. Is he going to look towards the inside? He goes for a dummy, but it's not a very heavy braking zone, this right-hander, so he's not going to get that move done. Hutchinson dipping a wheel there onto the gravel, but that doesn't seem to have slowed him down too much. And you see in the background, that second four-way battle, not too far off, so if somehow they end up catching these four guys in front, these four drivers in front, and have a huge battle here, but the pit window does open in 5 minutes, so I'm sure we're going to see some people diving into the pits in an attempt for some undercuts here, especially with how difficult it is to overtake on this track. But let's go to Mamid in P7, who's only 8/10 off of Faulkner. These two have been neck and neck, but not close enough to have to worry about each other just yet. And it looks like that is, I believe that's a 999 BMW in front, who unfortunately, I believe, had some damage and had to repair that. Jonathan Chick in P26 at the moment, although only a second off of P25. Kruger. Now, if you are watching, make sure to like the stream and subscribe if you are new. It helps us out massively. Watching this battle for P2. They have broken away from the two behind. Tassian and Heelhorst are on their own little battle now. So that just leaves Sidor and Muller on their own as well. Although Sidor now starting to pull away from Muller ever so slightly. The gap is about a second between these two. So a bit less pressure for Sidor, I think. He's been in this position before where he's had to defend very early on. And he's done a great job at holding P2 so far. But Muller definitely not one to rule out. He is a very quick driver, as we've seen from previous seasons. We look back down to these two, the two Ferraris in the background coming over the start-finish line now. Still not close enough to be going for any moves is Mamid, but he's going to keep that gap to Faulkner, and he's not going to let him out of his sights, that's for sure, as he hasn't done since the start of the race. They've been within a second of each other, but we look back to Hutchinson. He's dropped back to Pryor now. Pryor and TP Racing, P10 and P11, very, very close to each other, and Hutchinson seems to be struggling in this first sector. Turns 1 and turn 2 is really where the 221 Aston closes in. Quite a few tenths actually, and Camera's now caught up to them as well, so he's joined in the action. And it looks like Visala into the pits. What's happened to Visala? He's pitted way too early. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like he does. We saw some light damage on his car earlier on the rear, but has he underfueled? Is the question. He's going to have to serve another stop because the pit window isn't even open yet. A real shame for Visala. Pithiviers, could this be a golden opportunity? Hutchinson having to go defensive, moves back over the racing line. He's allowed to do that, but this battle is getting even tighter now, even closer between these three, and Hutchinson is going to be feeling the pressure. You can see he's already going defensive very early on, and Pithiviers looking to the inside. No, he's being very patient here, which is exactly what you need to do, but just don't think I think he can go for a move here, because he does seem to have the pace at the moment on Hutchinson, and he's currently sandwiched between two Hondas, which can be quite daunting for him, especially for his first race. And he looks towards the inside though. Hutchinson closes the door, bit of understeer there for the Aston. He has to be careful, because if Pithiviers goes offline to try and get this overtake done, Amber then has the opportunity to try and get a move done on the Aston, so it could put Pithiviers in a very bad position. He's got to time this overtake to perfection if he wants to hold on to this position here. But they are catching up to Pryor ahead. Pryor and TP Racing battling with each other, and that's Pythagoras sending it down the inside there into the chicane. He's got that move done, having to go over the chicane a bit too much, but he's made it stick. And Hutchinson down to P13 now. That leaves Pythagoras to try and pull away to catch up to Pryor and TP Racing. Now that leaves the two Hondas to try and battle as well. Canberra, can he get past? I don't think he's looking for a move just yet. Once again, drivers being very patient with their moves, which is great to see. But we look back towards the battle for P2 here. Looks like Muller, no, I thought the gap was much closer, but they're still separated by about 7-8 tenths. So, Sidor flying over the chicane there. You have to be very careful. It's so easy to lose a car there. And I think he was lucky on that instance to not be facing in the barriers. But as a result, it does look like Muller has closed the gap ever so slightly. Or maybe not. Sidor dipping a wheel there onto the grass. Now the gap's back up to 8 tenths. So Sidor very, very lucky there. Muller's not going to let him get away whatsoever. And we look back to the two Ferraris. Mammed has gone past. So Faulkner down into P7. And Mammed has made that move stick. And up into P6 he goes. He's now going to have to defend. He's on the opposite side here. And these two are very even on pace. So we might even see them pit at the same time. They're not going to pit yet. They're in clean air pretty much. But they're going to stay out on track. I wouldn't assume they'd pit anytime soon yet either. The pit window is only just opened. We're only a minute into it. But this battle's still going on strong. Looks like Pryor has got past, and he has to. He goes a bit deep there into the final corner, jumps all over the grass, and TP Racing is going to get past him even before the braking zone. I think he's going to have the inside into turn 1. No, they're still side by side into the braking zone, and Matthew Pryor using that position there into turn 1. TP Racing capitalising on that mistake, and he's done so very well as he moves up into P10. But it looks like Pythagoras, Canberra, Alfavic and Pryor have all jumped into the pits. They've pulled the trigger early here in an attempt to possibly go for an undercut on these drivers ahead. And looking at the gap between Sidor and Muller, it's very, very close now. Looks like they've had to get past some lapped traffic. Let's see if we can switch to Muller. Come on, cameraman. There we go. They've switched over now. And Muller looking to the inside, a bit of a dummy, but it's not going to phase Sidor one bit. And I believe that was Jonathan Chick diving into the pits as well. We saw the amount of damage he had on that McLaren. You could just see him there in the background, but Muller has the better straight line speed here. He's not going to have the opportunity to get alongside yet, so he stays in P3 for now. But Sidor, after having about a gap of a second to Muller, has now been closed down to 2 tenths. It could have been down to that back marker, but it's the same for all lead cars here. You're going to lose time to back markers, and I think for the viewers and for us, it makes things even more interesting with these two, P2 and P3. But Luke Whitehead, I mean, 11 seconds ahead. He's on another level at the moment. I don't think anyone's going to be able to catch him, and it looks like Sidor and Muller getting past the back marker there. One of the Ferraris, I believe that's Alfavic, in P22. No, it's Kruger, sorry, in P19. He's still yet to serve his mandatory pit stop. Now do bear with us, we try and flick through each driver. If you just tuned in, our broadcasting software isn't working. So, we have to do this manually, which is a bit of a pain. But there we go, we switch to the battle we want. So TP Racing in the 62 Porsche, holding on the P10 after getting the overtake done on Pryor. But looks like Hutchinson still waiting in the wings. And Canberra before pitting was right on the back of Hutchinson there in the yellow Honda. So with the opportunity of an undercut. And with these three battling as they are at the moment, Canberra could be in a very, very good position for getting this undercut done. And he could even emerge ahead of all three of them by the time they pit. I think it's just a waiting game for us. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. But they're definitely losing time by battling. And in fact, let's switch to Canberra. Let's try and find where he is on track. Just bear with us. This is going to be painful, very painful. Try and find him. There we go. Oh no, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. He's into the wall. He's into the wall. Actually, I think he may have held that. He was into the gravel at least. But he made a huge mistake on the exit of that chicane. And it looks like he has come out unscathed. But he's lost heaps of time there as a result. And Jan Barth in the background there, not too far off now. The gap says 8 seconds. I think it might be less than that now. Yep, only 3 seconds now between the two. Canberra's made a huge mistake there, and I think undercut not looking so likely anymore. We jump down to, well, wait to jump down to Pryor. There we go. Pryor P19 has Alphavic very close behind him, and I think Pryor has lost a few positions in this battle. And who is that? That's the 999. BMW stopped on the track, but a huge mistake there from Pryor. But I don't think he's gained anything. He's managed to hold on to his position, and yes, I believe we have lost the 999 BMW, unfortunately. So that's a retirement from them. Hutchinson there in the background, but that's Pryor down the inside of TP Racing, and he's got that position back. Can Hutchinson now slip down the inside here and follow Pryor through? Looks like he has done, and Hutchinson being granted a position there, and TP Racing losing 2 positions in one corner. That was very clever there from Hutchinson to follow Pryor through, and he's maybe even going to look at getting P10 here off of Pryor, but doesn't have the speed to do so just yet. You can see there 4 in the background. The Mercedes not too far off either. But will we see any of these 3 pit yet? If I were TP Racing, I'd be diving into the pits as soon as possible, because the undercut at this stage in the race is going to be so strong. But it just depends on their strategy, and that is, I believe, one of the Ferraris up ahead going side by side. Didn't quite catch who that was. I think that was Kruger. Oh, that was Canberra trying to get past Kruger here. They are on different strategies, so Kruger doesn't really need to defend. But it looks like Canberra's going to go for the move down the inside, and he's going to get past as well. So he'll be back into clean air. Looks like that is Vesala in the background in the Porsche. There it is. And the next one being Jan Barth, who still keeping that 3-second gap to Canberra. Look further up now, Sidor and Muller still neck and neck. They've been glued to each other since the beginning of this race, and we're almost halfway in here. Just 2 minutes till we reach the halfway mark. And he's saying good luck, everyone. Jan saying help. Yeah, I believe Jan would have said that while he was in his pit stop. But he's been on track for a while now, and it's not too far off of the drivers ahead. Still about 3 seconds to Canberra, so that will be who he'll be battling with. Now Pryor into the pits. Let's see where Pryor comes out on track. He's come out on track now. Where is Canberra? No, Pryor's going to be safe here. So Canberra, with that mistake, has lost a lot of time. Although it's going to be quite close between these two, he is going to come out behind once again. I think if Canberra didn't make that mistake, he would have been out well ahead of Pryor. So a missed opportunity there for Canberra, but he's lucky to have come out of that spin without any damage. He dips a wheel, or a couple of wheels there, onto the gravel, and this is where he lost it last time, coming up towards this first chicane. See, they're using a lot of the curb on the inside, lifting two wheels up into the air, and that was one of the Porsche's Viken getting a bit sideways through there as well. A lovely livery on that Porsche though, where that Viken's running. Quite a stealthy one, in fact. I really like it. But Viken currently running a P8, still yet to serve his mandatory pit stop, and Barth behind as well. Another Porsche. Is that Vesala down the inside? He tried it, and the cameraman sleeping on the job. There we go, finally pans over. But yeah, another nice livery from Jan Barth as well in P17 from the Adweiser Racing team. And it looks like that is... who is that who just dived into the pits? That is that Viken into the pits? Yes, it is. Viken into the pits now. Whitehead is into the pits as well. Vesala staying out on track. He has Cano now exiting the pits. Where is he going to come out? He's going to come out behind Vesala, who still, I believe, has to... No, he served his pit stop, so this is going to be blue flags, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there we go. Marshall waving blue flags there on the left-hand side, but this promotes. You can get back up to the top. There we go. There we go. Sidor and Muller. Sidor gets promoted into provisional late race lead now. Muller into P2. And he hasn't pitted just yet, so maybe he's waiting for Sidor to pull the trigger and he'll follow him in, or he's going to try and stay out for as long as possible. Now in this pit stop, it is slightly different to what we usually run. So the drivers have a mandatory tyre change, and refueling is optional. So some drivers may be starting on full fuel, some might be starting on half a tank or even less. Just don't know. So we're going to have some varying strategies, I'm sure, throughout this race. I think between Sidor and Muller, it's a case of whose fuel runs out first, or whose fuel gets low first. And Faulkner into the pits now for his mandatory stop. Let's look further down the field. Looks like Purcell and Marsh on changeover. In fact, that's TP Racing, who's come out ahead of Pryor after the pit stops. That 62 seconds is incorrect. There we go, it's just updated. But yeah, Pryor now losing a position to TP Racing. And Canberra once again right in the back of them. Looks like, oh, that is Pithvers who's lost the car there through the chicane. We've seen a few drivers losing it there now. It's quite a deadly place to lose the car. And oh, Matthew Pryor very, very close on the back of TP Racing there. And I think that's once again Pithvers off the track onto the gravel. He's had a mare here, and he's going to have to wait to rejoin. Let's see if we can catch him. No, he's returned the car to the pits. So he's really struggling at the moment. And now we switch to... I'd like to switch to Whitehead, but it's just a real pain. God, what would we do without the software we have? I mean, we're making do with it at the moment. Yeah, Whitehead, now, he had pretty much, I think it was nearly a 20-second lead, or something like that. I can't quite remember. The number was so big, I have no idea what it was. But he is comfortably leading this race, obviously in the net race lead once the others have served their mandatory stops. Tassin now pulls the trigger and he dives into the pits. But yeah, Whitehead, compared to Hillhorst in P6, that was a 20-second gap. He definitely doesn't have anything to worry about at the moment. It looks like Marsh and Shen here. Shen in P20. And look at this train we've got. That's Marsh having to give way to the two Ferraris, Faulkner and Mamid, who are still battling even after the pit stops here. And it looks like Marsh has let them through. And That puts Faulkner up a position after the pit stops here, and they're still battling. Mamid tries through to look for a move down the inside, but has to back out of that to avoid contact. And these two, I think, have put up an amazing fight so far. In terms of driver of the day, it's going to be difficult who to give it to. These two have been battling since the start, and they've been inseparable. They've been switching positions every time we look over at them. But for now, it's Faulkner back in ahead of Mamid. And they're going to have to navigate through some traffic now. They've done so beforehand in the Aston in front. I believe that is Shen. Is going to have to make way as he does now, letting the two through. But is that going to allow Mamid to look down the inside? Faulkner going very defensive, keeping the car in the middle of the track here. Can Mamid... Oh, a bit of contact between the two. Bit of rubbing as well. And Mamid not able to get past, but luckily it wasn't a big hit at all. Probably just some paintwork being exchanged there. Looks like Muller has pitted, so Sidor now putting the trigger as well. Whitehead is going to be promoted back into the race lead, and the number 97 BMW is probably exiting the pits very shortly. We've got another battle going on for P16 and P17 as well. Barth and Cano just separated by 4/10, and another battle, Shen and Marsh, who have just been lapped by the two Ferraris there. Shen out to defend now. He's got the mighty Mercedes behind him, but Mercedes of Marsh not going to be able to pull alongside here into the chicane. He's got a much better exit though. We've seen this attempt of a move many times around the outside here, but it's not going to work whatsoever. And once again, he backs out of that move, and the BMW behind with some serious damage, I think. Is that Purcell? It is. It is from Fitted UK Motorsport. Got some serious damage on that BMW, but nevertheless, he is actually catching up to these two ahead. The gap now 1.7 seconds. It was 2 seconds in the last sector. We've closed in by about 3/4 tenths now. And usually we'd have a second screen. Be watching two battles at once, but that hasn't been working either. So all has gone wrong for this opening round, and looks like I think Alfivic off onto the grass. No, sorry, it was Kruger onto the grass on the exit of one of the chicanes, on the first chicane, in fact. And he seems to have recovered from that nicely. And Sidor maybe being stuck in some traffic now. You can see here Luke Whitehead just up in front. They've got a McLaren separating them, but they're on different strategies here. Luke Whitehead has served his mandatory stop. Sidor hasn't, and I assume he's going to dive in to the pits now. Only 2.5 minutes left of this pit window to go. And oh no, he sends it down the inside, so he's going to do another lap here. And he might even lose some traffic, at least some time in this traffic. If I were him, I would have pitted then. But it looks like Pither is still keeping it out on track, keeping it in the pits, so it's probably a retirement from him. Very unfortunate. He's running a good race, had a few mistakes, but still was doing a good job. When we look back to Faulkner and Mamid, we're still neck and neck. Mamid losing a bit of time now to Faulkner. Pretty much the positions they are in at the start of the race. But I think Mamid just waiting for a mistake from Faulkner. He's going to keep it consistent. That's pretty much what allowed Mamid to get past in the first place. Faulkner made a slight mistake, and Mamid was able to get straight past. But he's just managing that gap at the moment, keeping it within a second. And look down to this battle. Looks like Marsh has been able to pull away, but Shen now has got Purcell, another fitted UK motorsport driver, behind him. And he's going to be seeing yellow in front and behind him no matter where he looks. But even with that damage, Purcell doing a great job here at catching up. The question is, where can he get past? You can see the lights there on the front of that BMW flickering, so he has really got some severe damage and really understeering there out of the fast corners. That's where he's going to struggle the most, I think. With all the aero being damaged, he's got some serious damage there. I'm not quite sure what happened to Shen, not to Shen, to Purcell. He's either been contact or he's lost it himself. And once again, we'd be able to look at the replay of what happened. But technical issues, brilliant. That technology can be good sometimes, and then other times it can completely fail. Shen holding on for now. Alpha Vic on the back of Jan Barth. They're only separated by 3/10 here. Let's switch them quickly. Oh, there we go. Now we've switched them. If the cameraman wants to... there we go. And looks like Barth looking for a way past into this last chicane. Alpha Vic... sorry, Alpha Vic has got past, I believe. Yes, he has. So Barth losing the position to Alpha Vic, and he's up into P17 now. And it looks like it's that... I believe that's Whitehead behind them, so this could throw a spanner into the works for their battle. Barth is going to have to yield first, and if he does it right, he could actually gain some time here on Alpha Vic ahead, and maybe even gain a position. Paul Mitchell, I get to see in the comments, how come they get a nice track like Zolder for round 1 and PS5 they get a grey hail that is Kota? No, Kota's a great track for racing, it's just the track limits over there that we don't particularly like. But here we go, Jan Barth's going to have to move out the way very shortly. He does now there. Luke Whitehead getting through. Now can Jan Barth try and follow Whitehead through with overtaking Alpha Vic? It's going to be interesting because Whitehead isn't going to catch up to him just yet. There's so many battles going on. It's a real shame we don't have our software working. And we'll come back to this battle in just a moment. It looks like Vasala has got past Jonathan Chick here to the battle for P23. This is the battle for P23, and who's that into the pits? Tudor's got a drive-through penalty. Oh no, that's probably due to track limits, and he's going to lose. No, he hasn't served his mandatory pit stop, and he's going to have to do a drive-through, so he's going to get a penalty at the end of the race automatically by the by ACC, by the race directors, and that's a real shame for Sidor. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to hold on to P2 here. In fact, he's lost a position to Muller. Muller's definitely got past. We'll see where it puts Sidor now. That's a real shame there for Sidor. We've still got... there we go. He's come out behind the two Ferraris. But he's not really going to be battling with them. He might be battling with them on track, but he hasn't served his mandatory pit stop. He's going to have to, I think, try and work together with these two Ferraris, Mando and Faulkner. Try and limit the amount of time he loses at the end of the race, because I believe it can be anywhere from a 30-second penalty to 180 seconds. Can't quite remember. I think the most I've seen for not serving a pit stop is 180 seconds. Obviously, he can't serve it now because it's out of the pit window. Yeah, that's a real shame for Sudoi. Don't usually see him messing up like that. But he's left it too late. And he's just gonna have to bear the consequences here. But these two still keeping the gap 6 or 7 tenths. They cross the line. It's 5 tenths between them now. Looking further down, TP Racing and Matthew Price still neck and neck. Even before the pit stops, they were battling. And once again, after the pit stops, they are battling. There's some great battles that we're going to see throughout this championship, I think, especially from what we've seen so far in round 1. And surprisingly, there's not actually been much contact. Usually you'd think there'd be a lot of contact in the opening laps at Zolder. Yes, it's inevitable to have contact at the start. We did see a couple drivers make a bit of contact, but I mean, it was relatively clean, or very clean for Zolder. And if you look at races in real life, in GT World Challenge, it is much worse than this. Much worse. And same goes for British GT as well. I mean, not long ago, we had a race at Brands Hatch, and if you looked at the opening lap from that, there were about 3 cars facing the wrong way. Some heavy damage. Yeah, looks like that is Flora down the inside of Dressel. They are still side by side though, and Dressel losing that position by a slight margin. You couldn't even slide a piece of paper between these two. That's how close they are. And the Mercedes struggling through that chicane. They're going to have to contact between the two. Just as I was saying how clean the racing was going, and there's been contact. I shouldn't speak anymore. This is a pure commentator's curse. I think Dressel tried to move out the way there for Luke Whitehead, but that's just caused even more damage. That's why you only move out of the way on a straight, and they are still side by side as well, where they've both picked up damage. And I think Flora has come out worse from that. Jan Barth now, as a result, has joined in on the action. He's now right at the back of them, and I think he won't have much trouble getting past with the amount of damage they've got now. But we just have to wait and see. Yes, that is, I believe, Pryor in the background. Yes, it is. Pryor not far off either, only 3 seconds off. But Dressel looking to get past. Somehow he came off much better than Flora did, but he's going to come down the inside, move down the inside there, and he's going to get that position done, that move done. And I believe Dressel has got never give up written on the McLaren, which is quite good because he hasn't given up. And he's continuing. Jamboff now down the inside, later on the brakes, and he's missed his braking point by a mile there, but slots back in. No, isn't able to get that position done, so Flora holds on to P17, but that damage is really going to be hindering him now. You can see how much time he's losing, especially through these chicanes. And look at that, the understeer he's got. Let's hope he doesn't pick up any more damage all over the grass. And Jamboff looking to the outside here. Flora going defensive on the inside, coming up towards the hairpin. And I don't think... Oh, a bit of door running between the two. Jamboff on the outside, still side by side. And looks like Flora has still been able to hold on to that position. But look how much time Pryor in the background has gained. He's now, once again, in this battle. And Arth might be in some trouble now as well. As we cross the line once more. You can see Mercedes really struggling here. I think we can try to get some onboards. I go on board with Pryor. There we go, it works. So, well, that works. But yeah, got a good view of this battle from Pryor here. And he's got a much better exit, having to lift off the throttle, but he's not going to want to make this 3 wide whatsoever. He's using the slipstream of the Mercedes ahead, but backs out of that. Very sensible driving here from Pryor is focusing on the exit. You can see he hasn't lost any time to these two by doing so. And this is what you call smart thinking and planning ahead. He's not just going for any gap he sees, because if he does, it's probably going to end up in carnage with these two ahead. And I definitely don't want to make it 3 wide into the chicanes. Right, a bit of understeer there, slight lock up as well. You can see in the rearview mirror, not the rearview mirror, the side mirror. I don't believe that's Marsh, it's one of the other cars. In fact, that is an Audi. I think it might be Pryor who's just come past. That's either Pryor or that is... sorry, not Pryor. Oh, there's 2 Pryors, right. So there's Matt Pryor and there's Stuart Pryor. Right, so that makes things even more confusing. But it is the number 30 Audi, which is the man in P2, Muller. And it looks like Fora has lost a couple of positions here, which I think was expected with that damage. Red Visala back into the pits now, so not sure what's happened to Visala. He's running a good race, and he's been dropped off the jacks. He's got going once again, which is good to see. Let's try and flick over to Matt Pryor here in the Audi. Here we go. Matt Pryor still defending against DP Racing. Oh, Master Benz, good to see you in the comments. Yeah, how's it going? Been a while since we've seen you. The last event we saw you at was the PS5 event on ACC. It looks like that was Shen moving out the way for these two. Shen in P22, lapping on his own at the moment. He was in a battle with Purcell at the last time we saw him, but Purcell is about 6 seconds ahead now, and he's up in front, so he got that move done earlier on. These two have been bumper to bumper for quite a while now, and I might be in some trouble here. DP Racing with a very good exit, and will we see Pryor go defensive? I think he's not going to. He's going to keep it on the racing line. He knows that DP Racing is not going to send it down the inside there. He's not phased one bit by the Porsche being right up his chuff at the moment. Keep an eye on these two. Let's switch to Alphavic and Cano. Alphavic running a much better race here than he did in round 1 of the Moser Championship. Obviously, he's transferred from that to here. He found that the competition was a bit too hard, but he's doing a great job at the moment. Running in P15, only 5/10 off of Cano, and Cano runs slightly wide there. Is that going to allow Alphavic down the inside? Almost. But couldn't quite get that done, and once again that is Shen moving out the way. Shen doing a great job at being a backmarker as well. Not getting in the way of any battles, which is exactly what we like to see. And Cano on the outside, is he going to be later on the brakes? We saw Jan Barth try this move early, and it hasn't worked for Cano either. So Alphavic holds on to P15, but for how long? We've only got just under 7 minutes left of this race to go. So Alphavic's going to be being the pressure. He's going to be looking at the timer, counting down the laps he's got left to go. And Cano with a huge mistake, and he's into the wall, he's into the barrier, but bounces off of it, and that continues. He continues in the right direction somehow. That was very lucky there that he didn't spin around and end up facing the wrong way. That's put him on the back foot now with the damage. And I think Armobic is going to be in a comfortable position. He's not going to be feeling the pressure anymore, I don't think. We look back to this battle. TP Racing looking for a switchback here on Matt Pryor. Can he get it done? No, he can't. The speed there of the Audi, just a bit too much at the moment, especially on these straights. But the Porsche does have the slipstream now. Will it be enough? I don't think so. You see there, yeah, it's just not close enough. I think TP Racing needs to focus on the exits here of the corners. Be close enough to be later on the brakes. You can see at the moment he's just not close enough to have the warrant a move down the inside. See on the exit there, he's got much closer and needs to hold this up until the hairpin. But I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. There's sparks flying as he bottoms out over the curb. I know, Matt Pryor just doing an exceptional job at defending. Was there a bit of contact between the two? Not sure, it looked like there was. But if there was, it was very minor. And they've got Visala, and I believe that is Purcell just up ahead. So they're going to have to navigate past this traffic, which once again could make things much more exciting for us. You can see the Muller in P2. So comfortable. In P2 at the moment. He's got a 10-second lead to Tassin. Well, I say comfortable. Every time I say that, someone seems to make a mistake, so I'm not going to say that anymore. And looking at P5 and P6, Mahmoud has got that move done, and he's opened up nearly a 2-second gap to Faulkner. So Mahmoud looking good for taking home P5 here after a hard-fought battle. But these two, TP Racing and Pryor, have got past the lap traffic with no trouble whatsoever. And I think for TP Racing, he's gonna need to start getting a bit aggressive here on track. He maybe needs to throw some dummies down the inside. You know, pretend he's going for a lunge down the inside, just to try and force Pryor into an error. Because at the moment, he's pretty much just following him around, not really doing anything to try and get past. And Pryor can then take his normal racing line as he's been able to do so. There's only 3 minutes left on the clock, so I think TP Racing really needs to pull something out the bag here if he wants to get past Pryor, who's been defending exceptionally well. And Pryor, of course, has raced with us in last season. He's signed up for all our championships this season, which is great to see. And he's definitely one to watch out for on track, in a good way, of course. And we see here, oh, was that the BMW in the background? Purcell very sideways. I think he managed to hold on. No, he didn't. He was into the barriers there. I think he may have picked up even more damage. He's on the marbles now. Could his steering be bent? I'm not sure. He looks to be okay, but only 2 minutes left to go, so I'm sure he's going to keep it going here. But unfortunate for Purcell. That's maybe where he lost it last time, and that's possibly how he picked up all this damage as well. Obviously, he's been carrying that damage for quite a while, but probably how he gained it in the first place. We look back to Muller, who's currently on his own, but Cano looking down the inside onto Armobic into the penultimate corner. Is Armobic going to go for a switchback? He's going to try it, but no, Cano defends that really well, and he's made that move stick up into P14. He goes on the penultimate lap, I believe, as rare as our race leader, Luke Whitehead. If we can find him, he's that far ahead, we don't even know where he is. There we go. No, not there we go. Saw a Porsche. Well, that was him. There we go. Now we found him. But yeah, looks like we will have one more lap after this. And Whitehead pretty much just lapping on his own. It's been a Sunday drive for him, really. Hasn't really had much competition at the moment. But I definitely think once, well, Zolder was the closest to give him a battle, but unfortunately he had to defend from those behind him, and as a result Whitehead just able to pull away and extend that gap lap after lap. And yes, if, there will be another lap here, so Whitehead's going to make it one more lap, and he's got, what was that, 28-second lead to Muller. So absolutely crazy here. But I think when Dow King, also known as Darren King, is back with his new wheel, he's gonna be giving Whitehead a big challenge, a very big challenge, and Whitehead's not gonna have it so easy. We do have a drop round here as well, so that's in favour of Dow King, who hasn't quite got his wheel just yet. But we hope to see him on track the next round. Here we go, Whitehead coming up to the final few corners now. And yeah, what an easy race it's been for, oh, I say easy, it's a bit disrespectful to the other drivers, but I mean, it has been pretty easy for him. He's kept it consistent and hasn't made a mistake. And here we go, he's going to cross the line in P1, flush of the lights there from him as well. And a good start to this championship for Whitehead. Muller, where is he? This is the only problem with there we go, we found him. We're not having the software, but there we go. He's going to round the final corners now, and he's going to finish in P2 as well. So a great finish there from Muller. Had a hard-fought battle with Zolder, and Zolder unfortunately making that massive error to not pit. And Muller finishing in P2. Once again, another good start to the championship for Muller as well. Where is Tassin? If we can find Tassin. There we go, Tassin in P3, crosses the line, we just about caught it. But yeah, there we go, there's the top three. Whitehead in P1, Muller in P2, and Tassin in P3. Hillhorst in P4, and Mahmoud taking P5. Faulkner in P6, Zolder still yet to cross the line. So, I think he's going to pick up a penalty after. There we go, 130-second penalty. I knew it was going to be a big one, but there we go. That's what, that's the penalty he has got. And we'll see if we can get a quick interview with some of the drivers. So, what a race we had. I mean, we had battles throughout the grid. And constant battles. Let's see if we can get an interview with some of the drivers. Here we go. We've got Luke Whitehead with us in the comms booth. I mean, what a race from you. It's pretty much a Sunday drive from you, I think. Didn't really have much trouble. Yeah, how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, well, first off, good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, it all went perfectly, really. Qualified pole by a decent margin, and then just pulled away at the start. Got, I think, about 2 seconds in the first lap, which even surprised me. And then we were just able to pull away, stretch that gap gradually, and we consistently had better pace than the rest. And we also negotiated the back markers with no issues, which was also very, very crucial. Because I mean, obviously Zolder, very narrow, very twisty, so it's always difficult to negotiate these back markers. But we got through clean, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, and coming into round 2, Paul Ricard, I know the Porsche's not the quickest on the straights there, so I know Dowking as well is probably going to be back, so he could be possibly your biggest threat for the championship.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to know really before obviously going there, but I think for sure the Porsche's it's not the quickest in a straight line, which will give us a lot of problems, I'm sure. But yeah, I think looking at the pace that we had today, I hope that we'll have the same pace carrying forward for the rest of the season. Sorry. But we'll see what happens. I mean, as you said, Dowell might be back, and he's very quick in his own right anyway. So we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to the rest of the season nonetheless.
Yeah, and we hope for some great results in the rest of the season for you. But congratulations once again for a great start to this season, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.
Yep, you too. So there we have it. That was Luke Whitehead with us, SRO Esports champion, who finished P1 in this race as well. We'll bring over Hilhorst as well, who's up for an interview. Hello, Hilhorst. How are you doing? I think you've got your mic muted. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How was that race for you? I can't quite remember where you finished.
I finished in P4.
P4, yeah. Good result from you then.
Yeah, pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and running in the Audi as well. I mean, you gained a few positions. I think Sidor was running in P2. He had he missed his pit stop and had a drive-through, so you gained a couple of positions as a result of that. But yeah, I mean, how was that for you?
Well, it was kind of like my first event with the SimZone. First of all, was really goodly organized. I love the racing, just love the competitiveness of the race. Is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So I started in P5, then tried to battle the BMW for P4, but that didn't work. But then like the first 20 minutes, just all the time battling from P2 till P5 was a lot of fun. Then I dropped back a bit, made my pit stop, and then I got to 3 track 1. It was really hard for the last 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Just had to like take it really careful around the 2 chicanes, so lost like 8 seconds to the P3 and the P2. But yeah, really happy with P4.
Yeah, it's a good result. I mean, a great start to the championship for you as well. And
Yeah,
moving on
definitely.
to next round as well, Paul Ricard. Is it a track that you like? I know a lot of people don't like Paul Ricard, but
It's pretty decent. My consistency that isn't the best, but it's pretty decent. It's okay.
yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing you with a good result there as well.
Yeah. Hoping for that as well.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah. Well, I'll head out then to let the other guys have an interview.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll
Thanks for
probably see
organizing.
you,
Was
yeah, no worries.
amazing.
Take care.
Yeah, bye.
Looks like do a couple more interviews here. We've got Jan Barth now with us as well. Jan, what a race from you. I mean, you started, what was it, P19?
No, it was, I think, P16.
Oh, P16.
When I looked back, and I think I had a monster start.
You
Absolutely.
had a monster start. I saw you, and you're up into P12. I was like, hold on.
P11, I think it was.
Yeah. And, oh my god, yeah. I mean, what a start. You had some great racing as well with some of the other Porsches, some of the Hondas, I believe. I can't quite remember.
It was one Honda. I was like screaming all the time, this Honda so fast, man, Jesus.
Yeah.
And also with the nice livery from Stuart Pryor with the
Yes,
Budweiser,
yes.
Aston Martin had some good battles. So, and I finished P16 where I started, so I'm pretty happy with that because you know Zolder. I think the most people know here. I don't like this track too much.
Oh, you don't like Zolder? All right.
Yeah, I think the last race I got a stupid drive-through because I was like off the track and then, yeah, stalled my engine and then the game
no.
it just gave me a drive-through penalty. And now today I was also on three warnings at the end, and it was yeah. But
Yeah.
fun race anyways, and thanks for the competition again to all guys, and yeah.
Yeah,
See you
no
next
worries.
race.
Yeah, are you signed up to all our championships this season?
Yeah, I did.
So, plenty of racing then for you. But yeah, next round, I've asked this to everyone pretty much. Next round, Paul Ricard. The Porsche Paul Ricard.
I don't care. I like this track,
Really?
and
Nice.
I'm in the Porsche on straight line speed. I'm slow anyway, so yeah, it doesn't matter to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can get the most out of the Porsche in the corners, that's pretty much what matters.
Exactly.
But yeah, congratulations, and
Thank you.
we will see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye bye. Thank you.
So let's move over. We have Daniel Kruger with us. Hello, Daniel. Can you hear me?
I got it working.
Yes, nice. Nice to hear. Yeah, how was that race for you? I think you had a few hairy moments, but can't quite remember where you finished in the end. Could you? Oh wait, no, it's moved over. Right, never mind then. We'll get Christian Muller in quickly. Christian, hello.
Oh, hello. Yeah.
That was a bit unsurprised. Yeah, yeah. What a race from you. I mean, P2 at the start of the championship. You had a great battle with Sidor for pretty much the majority of the race, I think, even after the pit stops. But unfortunately, Sidor didn't serve his mandatory pit stop. You got a drive-through penalty as well, and that promoted you in P2, and you were 10 seconds ahead of P3, so plenty of time. And yeah, how was that for you? How did you find that race?
I mean, firstly, thank you for organizing this league again. It's great to come back and have a good start to the season with P2. Yeah, Sidor and me were fighting for like the first half hour till I made my pit stop. Constantly like 0.5 to a second between us. It was great. It was fun. It's just fun.
Yes.
I'm still wondering why he didn't serve his pit stop. Like,
Yeah, it's quite unusual for him.
right.
I'm not too sure. Maybe he just mistimed it, misjudged it. But yeah, it granted you that huge gap.
Well, can only thank him for that.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, going on to next round, Paul Ricard. How are you looking? How are you looking for that?
I'm hoping for no rain, unlike last season where I won
Yeah.
with a bit of luck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a fun track. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you can have good racing there, so it should be good, hopefully.
Yeah, and once again, congratulations on P2, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Take care.
Too.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That rounds off round one of the Next Level Racing GT3 Championship. Thanks to all for watching, and make sure to tune in. We'll be live. Gosh, I forgot what day it is today. It's Tuesday. We'll be live back on Friday for the Moser Racing GT3 Championship, and we also have the SimSoc and the IMB Raceway Championship starting next week. So if you haven't signed up, now is the time to do so. They're almost full as well, so be sure to sign up for them. But from us, it is good night, and take care.